Okay, guys, Darth Golas here. I'm back. I'm gonna do. Oh, my mic almost fell. Do a review on G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. I'm doing a format now where I show a picture for most of the video. I got this idea from YouTubers like Confused Matthew and Geek Revolution. I'm gonna talk about a movie that I'm not sure a lot of people talk about anymore. It's called G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra. The reason why I say it is because, excuse me and my dad watched it the other night, and my dad thoroughly enjoyed it. That he thought it was a he thought it was an underrated movie, so it kind of inspired me to discuss this movie on this review here. So anyway, as we know, this movie is based on the toy line and comic book series and cartoon from the 80s. Which in turn inspired other sequel cartoons and stuff. I had a movie before, but it was a cartoon movie, and I believe it was direct to video, called G.I. Joe the movie. I have not watched it yet. Anyway, I'll get to the cast quickly here. The cast is Channing Tatum as Duke. Marlon Wayans as Ripcord. You know Marlon Wayans from stuff like White Chicks, Little Man, that dude. Okay. Hey, Joseph Gordon-Levitt as the Doctor. This is gonna be interesting. I'll get to that in a sec. Christopher Eccleston, if I'm saying this right, as Destro. Sienna Miller as the Baroness. Adwail Akinioye Agbaji, I think that's how you pronounce it, as Heavy Duty. Rachel Nichols as Scarlet. Say Tagmawi, I think that's how you pronounce it, as Breaker. Biden Hun Lee as Storm Shadow. Ray Park as Snake Eyes. Aaron Vosloo as Zartan. And Jonathan Price as the President of the United States of America. And finally, Dennis Quaid as General Hawk. So we got the cast. We also, one of the G.I. Joes, they have different code names, and they have the real names are different. Like Duke's is Conrad Hauser, I think I pronounced it. Ripcord is Wallace Weems. Who Dewey's is Herschel Dalton. And Scarlet's is Shayna M. O'Hara. Snake Eyes is unknown. Breaker's real name is Abel Shays. Hawk's real name is Clayton Abernathy for the Cobra group. The Doctor's real name is Rex Lewis. This real name is James McCullen. Baroness' real name is Anna Lewis. Starshaw's real name is Thomas Arashikaji. And Zartan's real name is not known. So yeah, this movie got developed back from the 90s, and I heard they were going to do something like this, like at Warner Brothers with Threshold Entertainment, but then they decided to. But then they're not happy because they started to work do more combat. Eventually, the project got picked up in 2007. They got Steven Sommers, there's the guy who did The Mummy and Van Helsing, to do this, and they made it. Yeah. I remember watching this movie back in 2009, but I made it leave because at one point got kind of scared for me, so I decided to leave. I regret never finishing it, but I did remember back in the day, I collected all the action figures, almost all of them. I remember I had a Duke, Ripcord, Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, Paris, Storm Shadow, Baroness, Viper Commando, Cobra Commander, the Doctor, Doctor Destro. Let's see, who else did I have? I had a Zartan, I remember having. And I think that's all I can think of who I had. I didn't have a lot of the vehicles. I remember one Christmas, though. I think it was Christmas 2009. I got a package with Duke, Ripcord, a Cobra. A nameless Cobra. Got two Cobra thugs and a nameless. What's the guy's? And nameless G.I. Joe guy. Yeah, I got all the toys. Retaliation, and I think it's 2013 called Retaliation. I didn't see it in theaters, but I got it for Christmas that year when I watched it. So here's part of the movie. It's about it's Duke and Ripcord getting recruited to join G.I. Joe, and they have to fight against Mars Industries, the forces of Destro and his evil mad scientist doctor. According to his reception was so in the movie, but it was a massive box office hit. It's making $302.5 million in on a budget of $175 million, and rated PG-13 for violence and mayhem. So, review. So, I'll discuss a little bit of the characters, and also this is kind of be a little spoilery thing. So, if you don't like spoilers, don't watch this. So, Duke, the main protagonist, Channing Tatum, is decent. Like, feels a lot like Chris Evans's Captain America, in my opinion. Always one opinion. Like, he's like the Boy Scout wanting to do the right thing all the time. I'm always acting like here you go, sir. I'll do what you need, sir. Like, kind of a yes man type guy, but also kind of rebellious and a little hothead too. Felt like a little like Captain America a bit. Ripcord feels, in my opinion, like the comic relief in the movie. Like, does kind of like jokes and try to hit on Rachel Nichols as Scarlet. And her performance is pretty cool. And yes, she does look pretty hot for all you fanboys out there. And let's see, Ray Park as Snake Eyes. Well, should be pretty easy for someone like Ray Park, considering A, Snake Eyes doesn't have to talk. That's simple. He didn't have to talk much to Darth Maul. And B, he's an expert at doing incredible stunts, so that's taken care of. So bam, yeah, got a good actor, a good role. Here's something funny. Do you know what flashbacks says focusing on young Snake Eyes Storm Shadow? The young Snake Eyes is played by Leo Howard from the Disney show Kickin' It. We played the main character in the show, Jack Brewer, ironically, who is that show is also martial arts based. So it's kind of funny that he played martial arts characters in both of them. Anyway, a little bit of the joke. I'm talking about some of the bad guys now. Our two main villains are Laird James McCullen, aka Destro, and Rex Lewis, aka the Doctor, aka Cobra Commander by the end of the movie. I heard Joseph Gordon-Levitt joined the role because he liked the mask he was going to use. The quote I pull up here is I get to be that? You gonna make that makeup in real life and stick it on me? Let me do it! That's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity! Yeah, but even so, he refused to appear for the sequel. Cool. And he did a pretty decent voice for it. But it sounds nothing like the voice from the cartoon, which is super high pitched, and no, he does not go sss all the time. And also, they said in the movie they were going to have him wear his blue hoodie, but they decided not to because it would look like a Ku Klux mask or something. Even though they had a shiny blank mask they could have used too, so it's not like that's the only mask. So got that. And throughout the movie, the Doctor, or we call him, wears this weird mask thing with like a little monocle on the side, wears a wig with a black shoulder-length haired wig until he reveals who he is to Duke. Then he just ditches the wig and we'll wait for the rest of the movie and just goes bald until he puts on his little mask. And I'm gonna think about this for a sec. His accent is ridiculous. Like, he's have to try way too hard to sound Scottish. I'm surprised he's not using Scottish slang and stuff. Like, I don't know much of the slang, but I'm pretty sure. I'm kind of surprised he never using Scottish slang. Because British use. But kind of, I guess when he's British, I'm actually English, so you should have used. Because if you probably would have used slang like "jolly good old saw," and "that is smashing," that kind of stuff. But yeah, he's kind of over the top with the accent and stuff. But I also heard that he really hated this role, and he said he wanted to slit his wrists every day doing this. Actually, I was originally going to appear at the Mercy Comic Con this year, which I was point, which didn't happen because which I was going to go to, but sadly got canceled because you know what. He was going to be there. I was planning on asking him, which movie do you find the most embarrassing to be in? G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, or Thor: The Dark World? I really hope I still get to see him at camp or something, because I really need to know that answer. I really need to know which role he found the most embarrassing. Because he hated both roles, I want to know which one he hated the most. Between playing Destro or playing Malekith. And we talk about the Baroness. In this movie, they actually give kind of backstory to the Baroness and Duke and the Doctor / Code Commander being old Link. Because apparently, Baroness's real name is Anna Lewis and was Duke's ex-fiance. Like, they did get married. They were getting married, and also Duke was friends with her brother, Rex, and she said she'll marry him on the condition that he keeps Rex alive and doesn't let him die because they will serve in the army together. But sadly, he wasn't able to get it after Rex ran into a building to investigate something, and the building exploded, and Rex was presumed deceased. So Duke pretty much just left after that because he probably figured that she ain't gonna want to do it now because her brother's dead. But I don't know thing. For one thing, I think it's kind of dumb that Doctor gets pissed at him for like abandoning my sister. Well, he abandoned her because she said that she'd marry him if he keeps her alive. He didn't think he survived, so what does he expect? Like, what's the point of going back to her after he died? More than likely, she'd probably just get pissed at for not keeping him alive. Like, really, I think that's a dumb reason for he'll get mad. Dude, but apparently he decided to join Mars Industries because he saw that Destro, or whatever you want to call him, was working on nanomites. He became instantly invested in the idea and wanted to work on himself, so after the explosion hit the bunker, he survived and worked with another scientist called Dr. Mindbender, played by Benny from The Mummy and Igor from Van Helsing, saying Kevin J. O'Connor. Speaking of which, I got to have a script. The movie the director said that both him and Mindbender survived, even though Mindbender is not in the movie except for the flashback, which is the only Bears. Although in the script he said that Mindbender died in the explosion, he just took his research for himself, which I think makes a little more sense of why Mindbender isn't in the movie. Because if if he's alive, where is he now? And they don't explain it. By the way, speaking of nanomites, in the movie, nanomites are like manufactured locusts or termite-like creatures that can do one of two functions depending if you want. That they can help mind control people to do the Cobra / Mars' bidding, and they can also eat up any infrastructure they want to eat up. Which reminds me, regarding that, in the script, that explains why he looks so disfigured, and it had nothing to do with why he needs that breathing mask, why he talks funny. And another explorer said he tried an early test of the nanomites on himself, but it damaged his vocal cords and his lungs, which is why he sounds so raspy and why he needs the breathing mask. Although in the movie, they don't really explain it. I'm actually wondering why he's using the nanomites if it did that to him. It's because in the script he said that was an early stage, that he fixed it since then, so they don't do that anymore. So, yeah, he handled that problem with the nanomites. So that's good. Yeah. Although I think one of the more developed movies between Snake Eyes Sean Shao, played by Brian Hun Lee, they show a lot of flashbacks to it too, along with Duke to their rivalry, and free. Like, it shows in his origin in the movie that Snake Eyes found this place in Japan. Cause he was a kid, but then Storm Shadow caught him stealing food and fought him. But then their master stopped him and decided to take Snake Eyes in, and Snake Eyes became an instant fan favorite of the master, pissing off Storm Shadow. So then later apparently kills their master and runs away, thus starting the rivalry. After that, Snake Eyes takes a vow of silence due to it. Right. And yeah, I mean, they don't have like two real fight scenes in this movie, but I kind of like the banter they have a little bit. Well, one-sided banter. Like, when they first fight in the movie, so shows it to Snake Eyes, "Hello, brother." There's one little bit of how good they know each other, because when they're driving an armored truck in Paris, and Paris says, "Let's give us a shout," put the finger, I was like, he never gives up. But then was up. Like, he knows him so well. Like, really. Like, I gotta see if did these two even fight even before this movie when they're adults? Like, I was like, I just feel like this couldn't have been the first time in their lives in this movie continuity that they fought in the pit. They couldn't have been. Okay, anyway, now I'm gonna talk about Zartan, played by Arnold Vosloo. One sec, my glasses fell off. Wait, no. Okay. Zartan appeared too much in the movie, but he played a vital role in the movie, because he first appears in the movie on Destro's submarine, and I'll chat with him about their mission while reading a book about presidential stuff while humming, "For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow." Then he joins the attack at the pit, killing a couple of guys there, and even dressing up like one of the soldiers there, before later participating in this program for something secret and special for Mars Industries. They put some stuff in to change his appearance, and at the end of the movie, it's revealed that he kidnapped the janitor, took his the president. Why I say janitor, I don't know, and took his place as the president, except for the sequel. And in the movie, they actually do kind of a good job of telling this is him. They don't try him, like, they do a cool little, no, instead of blatantly saying it is him or doing something super obvious, they have him whistle for "he's a jolly good fellow," and I think that's kind of a nice trick that they did there, instead of trying to make it super obvious way, like do something like Scooby-Doo have done. No, they just just do something so subtle that only people, like, you have to remember who did that early in the movie, and it's kind of hard to remember that because he just appears like midway through the movie, so that's only for people if they can remember that well. I think it's a nice little trick they did there. Okay, I think I've gotten as much as I can out about the characters. Let's discuss the story now. So the story is the Joes have to go. The Joes to fight Mars Industries, headed by the evil Rabbi Destro, who wants to use these things called nanobites to take over the world and become the most powerful man there is, I'm guessing. So basically, he just wants to shoot stuff and shoots these kind of things to make himself look almighty powerful, to raise his company. Yeah, so the Joes have to go stop him before he can do that. So that's pretty much the plot. And I'll tell you some bits of the story. At the beginning of the movie, they tried to show this issue with Destro's ancestor, like a flashback showing that. I'm just trying to think here. Showing him getting in trouble because apparently he was selling to both sides and having an iron mask be branded onto his face as punishment for his selling them to both sides. They put, so it was, I guess, supposed to be like a foreshadow to his ancestor, to his descendant becoming Destro or something, which eventually does. But I'll get to that in a moment. So the GI, so there's another thing in the movie. The technology is so silly, over the top. Like, in this Paris fight, they got these little robotic suits that Duke and Ripcord have to wear, have to run through Paris to catch Baroness and Storm Shadow because they're gonna try and launch one of the warheads the Nanomites onto Paris Eiffel Tower, because apparently Destro doesn't like the Eiffel Tower because he actually doesn't like France, to be honest, because I think France is where his ancestor got screwed at. So he wants to destroy Eiffel Tower as a way to give the middle finger to France, pretty much. Much like, this is what you get for what you did to my ancestor. And Destro also has having a son on both sides, wanting to sell the Nanomites to both the black market and to the actual military. Yeah, he's that kind of guy. Military and bad people, so he can make millions of dollars by selling to both sides, which is what apparently his whole lineage has done, considering that his name has the word 24 in it, which means he's the 24th person in his family timeline to be called James McCullen. I think it's kind of funny that his entire family of males has pretty much had the same name, essentially. James McCullen. McCullen the second, James McCullen the 13th. Now finally James McCullen the 24th. So many McCullens with this guy. So many McCullens. I just think it's kind of fun. I need so many McCullens. And another ridiculous thing, that during the Paris fight, they have the car flip over because a train hits it, and the car crashes, flips around, and explodes like several times. Yet Baroness and Storm Shadow somehow survive that. Do not ask me how. They just crash a lot and have several explosions in their car, yet the two don't die whatsoever. They're somehow still alive, only a few scratches. Notice the thing, when they go into the buildings where they go and launch the missile, Baroness is a jerk to everyone there. Like, when she goes in there, she shoves the guy with balloons out of her way, yells arrows rudely, "Out of my way!" Shoves two people out of her way, starts shooting up in the air, and then when she gets in the elevator, where she sees Duke coming towards her, she shoots the glass through the glass in the elevator to try and kill him, even though she knows people right there. But Storm Shadow has at least being a little bit respectful. Like, when he goes in, he doesn't shove anyone or anything like that. He just goes do what he just does what he needs to do. He doesn't shove anyone or act rude to anyone. He just gets to the building and shots launcher. Like Baroness, who acts like a jerk to everyone she comes across there. And also after Storm Shadow shoots the missile launcher out, the warhead, it starts fighting Ripcord in like this chef kitchen. He grabs a pan and tosses it on his of tomato sauce and tosses it on his face. Well, I feel like, how about this? How about you just use the pot as the fighting thing, like to smash his helmet and slam into his face a second time, and boom, you got him. And another silly thing is that he jumps out the window, and there happens to be like a little vehicle for him to land on and get taken away to safety. That is just so ridiculous, that coincidence there. This movie is so ridiculous in all the right and wrong ways. I can't help but laugh. So at the end of the movie, after Duke gets captured, he gets taken into essentially their base. No more base, apparently beneath the Arctic. And I still wonder, how did they make a base like that beneath the Arctic? I don't know if it's physically possible to make a base like that underwater, because for one thing, then you have to find a way to extinguish the water in the place out and stuff. Like, it's kind of hard to wrap my head around how they could do something like that without any issues. Which I guess is part of the reason why we don't have any underwater bases in the real world. Anyway, so when I get there, Ness shares a kiss with Destro, and then Destro taunts Duke, and they start fighting, which apparently creates some memories back to Baroness, which you'll get to in a sec. You know, the funny thing is that when he's taken to the doctor, I like how this is like, hell's the man who responsible for my walk, and I said, genius, you're too kind. It's kind of like how they like how that little boss relationship, how it's like a boss compliments employee, like, oh, thank you. This is kind of funny. So they bring Duke to be used as to become a new foot soldier for them. So as these things set up, that reveals he's actually Rex Lewis, Barris's brother, who apparently survived, like I said earlier, because of... This is something I gotta point out, that when he was going to base, during the final base, to evacuate the place, my dad noticed that it took like 5 seconds to be interested in wanting to work on nanomites and join Destro's work. But yeah, he survived the blast, and he's still around. One thing that bothers me, they keep blaming Duke for most saying that he abandoned her, but honestly, the only reason why he did abandon her because she said she would marry him if he kept her brother alive. He failed to do it, so he probably just thought, what's the point of going back to her? I failed. She's probably not going to want to see me again. And if she had a problem with that, she could have at least called him or something regarding it. And like, I'm pretty sure it takes place like the 2020s, I believe. I'm pretty sure cell phones were still a thing then. So I think I got for that he's getting beaten up for something he had, or something he was for just doing what he thought was right. Meanwhile, the Joes do find the base while Heavy Duty leads the war strike on it, which feels a lot like a Star Wars type battle. Scarlet, Breaker, and Snake Eyes going to the base. While meanwhile, Ripcord takes a Thunder. They manages to get the Thunderbird toy into the movie, which Ripcord uses to go destroy one of the warheads. So Scarlet Witch, Breaker, and Snake Eyes break into the base, and and pretty much Scarlet Witch is breaking into mostly just things are going well. Snake Eyes has a pretty epic battle with Storm Shadow too. Some room the two battle each other. It's pretty cool battle. I think it's weird that Storm Shadow just takes off his outfit and reveals his chest, I guess, for the ladies. But then, yeah, Snake Eyes defeats Storm Shadow, stabs him, and shoves him into the freezing cold ice below. Meanwhile, Baroness decides to free Duke, but the kiss Duke finds out that she's actually mind controlled. She's not doing this well. That's because he yells at him for mind controlling Baroness, to which he doesn't care. Then the Death comes in, the two have a little game of who can taunt him the best. This is like, oh, you think you can have her? And stuff like that. And they're just like, yeah, do what we say, or I'm gonna press this button and murder her. It looks like they tries to break the contest by saying, you two don't deserve her. Then for some reason tries to flamethrower, but Duke blasts it back, scarring Destro's face. The doctor grabs Destro and takes him out of the joint in a submarine. Well, Duke said, I know something. When they got the race, why didn't Scarlet, Breaker, or Snake Eyes go find Duke? No, they just did their own thing. When they're there to free Duke as well, right? Why didn't them go find him? Really? You say you're there to find him, but you don't bother going down, so he has to get out himself. So after him and the rescue another submarine, they gets a pretty tedious chase after. After after the summer with the Doctor and Destro in it, as they're going around the whole round the show, bunch of other of Hydra behind them and stuff. Eventually, the Doctor destroys the base, but Scarlet Breaker and Snake Eyes get out in time before the place can destroy, and Ripcord destroys the warheads, although his ship gets eaten up by the nanomites, and he lands right in front of the White House. And I was getting arrested again, I'm guessing. Meanwhile, we get kind of the most weirdest scene in the movie, and kind of controversial. For one thing, the Doctor puts the nanomites inside Destro's head, and he gives him his little metal helmet, thus explaining how Destro got his metal helmet. Apparently, it's just these nanomites putting like a metal skin over him, and he says something like, "I've finally taken my place the long line of McCullens." Like, is he happy about it or not? Like, I kind of feel like maybe he's just a little horrified that he's like that. That's my guess. Then it tells him that he's no longer James McCullen. He's now known as Destro. Destro tries to go after him for a turn, but he gets tasered. Then Doctor tells him that they're now Mars Industries no more. Now they're Cobra, and reveals himself now as the Commander, putting on a weird plastic mask. Yeah, I think it's weird too. Ooh. But here's the thing in the movie. They then get captured shows almost immediately afterwards. I know, kind of lame, right? Although in the screenplay, in the comic adaptation, they actually get away in the end. Like the movie, they just get captured almost immediately afterwards. So yeah, Barry is sent to prison though, but of course she all forgiven and stuff. So then they have a pretty cool badass walk at the end of the movie. Shows them walking like they're from the Expendables stuff, right? And waiting for the explanation. Then here's a kind of an interesting post-credit scene. The post-credits, it shows the president going to his office, but then he puts on and starts whistling for his jolly good fellow, showing that it's actually Zartan disguised himself as the president. Which does tie into the next movie where a lot of Commander does again, but most of his action is made kind of easier because it's easier due to Zartan being the president and helping make a lot of Cobra commanders take over plans a lot simpler for him. Although in the screenplay, the comic adaptation, then Zartan's quirk wasn't Frigidaire fell. Instead, it was him cracking his knuckles. A kind of weird thing they changed it. But my thoughts on the movie, it's a silly adaptation of it, but it's kind of underrated. It has some good moments and stuff. So, I mean, a lot of the acting's over the top and stuff, but it's not a bad way of wasting an hour and a half to an enjoyable movie flick. Anyway, hope you guys like my review. Please subscribe for more. I'll try to keep getting reviews as much as I can.